Hey everybody, I'm David Waters. I'm the CEO at Community Servings, and I'm particularly excited to be here because many people in my position or our positions might be a social worker or a community activist, community organizer, but I think of myself as an entrepreneur. I was in the for-profit restaurant business before I was drawn to Community Servings. Community Servings, if you're not familiar with us, is a home-delivered meals program for people who are critically ill and can't feed themselves. We come to your home every week and bring you medically tailored meals for you and everyone else in your home while you're too sick from cancer, HIV, kidney failure, etc. I'll tell you a little more about that in a second. But the way that I was drawn to her was I was a kid who was always stealing the hors d'oeuvres in the kitchen. And my mother said, well, at least pass them first. And that was what drew me into the restaurant business. And I started as a dishwasher at 15, was managing the same restaurant at 19, and all the way through liberal arts school, supported myself in the food business. But I was also coming out of college. You're all too young to remember, but I was coming out of college in about 1981 at the dramatic height of the AIDS epidemic. And as a young gay guy, I was terrified because the message of HIV in the early years was love and affection equals death. And my best friend had a circle of 10 people, and we're talking your age, in your early to mid 20s, and in 5 years, 8 out of the 10 were dead. And that's the world that we lived in that time, and I couldn't figure out how to cope with it. So I heard about this new program that was starting to feed people with AIDS. And looking back now, I realized that Community Servings was my path to be able to cope with HIV. It was an organization that was trying to feed people because there were no medications. If you had AIDS in the early years, it was a death sentence, as you know. But what you don't know is that the majority of people in the early years of AIDS died of malnutrition. Because they weren't consuming enough fuel to fight off the virus, their body was looking for some way to kill this thing, and it would burn all their lean body mass. And so in the early years, young men would lose all their muscle tissue and die of malnutrition before anything else, pneumocystis pneumonia or AIDS could kill them. So we figured out if you could feed people, you could keep them alive longer. And the mantra of food as medicine is where we were born and where we continue today, but we've gone from HIV to 35 different illnesses. So we realized, again, I was drawn to feed gay men with AIDS, but it didn't matter whether it was breast cancer, kidney failure, etc. And now we also do food service job training. We have a local foods program. We do a lot with nutrition education around helping people with illnesses. But it's all, to me, about food entrepreneurship. And the last thing I want to say is that years ago, I said, what if we started a bake sale and we could sell some pies to raise money for this early program that needed money, and I could get my friends in the restaurant business. Well, the first year we thought we'd sell 100 pies. We sold 1,000. 20 years later, we sell 15,000 pies for Thanksgiving. We raise over $500,000. And in the last 20 years, we've raised $6 million from a bake sale. So when you think about entrepreneurship, there's a tremendous opportunity. All it takes is your brains and your enthusiasm, and you can have a huge impact the way we have.